And go live. Hey, everybody out there in Facebook land and YouTube land. We are so happy to see you this afternoon. Bill and I are, you guys know us. We're always chit-chatting about things. And, we've really been talking about this list, this things you need to know to really change your reality, to start manifesting in a way that's not just an item here or there, but really changes your life, the direction of your life, the course of your life. And what we know now is that it really changes reality. But this conversation is about whose reality does it change? Does it just change your own? Does it change the reality for everyone? Do you need to be concerned about, does your manifestation affect other people? We think that this is the underpinning, one of the most important things, that if you understand this, you can not only change your reality, but start to work in alternate realities. So this is such a fun conversation, Bill. What do you think that, why is this important about understanding for sure that there are multiple realities?
Well, it's hard to even fathom that there are other realities, and also that both can operate simultaneously, two real realities. But the science has caught up with what the mystics knew, and it's amazing. Many of you might be familiar with the double slit experiment. Now, I'm going to share with you some information that takes us to a whole new level and shows that you can have two correct answers that are observing the same thing at the same time, scientifically. It is crazy. It's like the quantum field. So for those of you who aren't aware, there's been experiments done way back. I think they started, back in the 30s or so. And what they did is they would fire photons, and they created a double slit in like a piece of cardboard, and they would watch on the other side when they hit the screen, and what kind of pattern that they would make. Well, when no one was observing, the pattern that they would make would spread across the entire backboard. And it would be many, many lines across the backboard. This was a wave. It would be a wave. And this is a wave, is all possibilities. Now, when someone observed, a person or even a camera was recording, watching it, it would collapse and become a particle. And it would create two lines on the backboard of all the dots of all the photons. So this is amazing, right? That reality changes when we look. Now, it was really funny because what they had done is they went over and unplugged the camera, seeing, still got the camera there, but they unplugged it. And it turned, when they did the experiment, it turned back into a wave. It was intelligent. There's actual intelligence. So by virtue of the fact of what we look at collapses reality into one possibility. It's mind-blowing. But even more mind-blowing than this is over in Vienna. I think it was the University of Lucerne, I believe. They got the bright idea, set up two cameras. I'm going to have two separate observers of the exact same experiment. Turn them off, it's a wave. Turn on the cameras, and you're not even going to believe it. Each individual camera recorded a different reality. A different reality. This, when you understand this, this can change your life, because you realize that literally what I look at is my reality. I collapse it at a molecular level into one reality, and someone else does the exact same thing. Boom, mind-blowing. The term objective reality. Objective reality means there is no other possibility. It simply is. But what the evidence suggests here in the quantum field, it's your reality, and you're collapsing it and you're making it. Now, the other side of this that's beyond the veil is people that have been beyond the veil, meaning death, and come back. One of the interesting things that we now know is that whoever it is, when you die, you're going to see your reality. But you're also going to experience somebody else's reality, and you're like, hey, that was the same event, but man, it's different. Well, guess what? Guess what? It's real. And all of us are getting to experience this. Like Liz is having a totally different experience right now than I am. And, when Liz and myself were talking the other day, we were going, there is something critical for us to know about manifesting and this new science. And that is, how about, number one, know this, and number two, allow the other person to be in their reality. Allow them to have it. If you looked at it like from what we might call the lens or the viewpoint of the divine, is like, hey, all y'all, do what you like. Have your own perspective, have your own experience, free will. And to be able to give that to another person, whoever they are, it frees us up, because there's no other reality. And you know what? I'm guilty of it. I know Liz, right? We talked about it. We're both guilty of trying to they've got to look at it my way. You know what? It's my reality and you got to fit in it. But this release of that, giving us this wonderful freedom to allow them to be, and you know what? It's making our manifestation more powerful, right, Liz?
Yes. And there's really something else. And that's why this is number one on my list of things you must know to really change reality, is that if you consider what our realities are, if you consider, and this might get a little woo-woo for some, but follow me here, that there's a source of energy, let's say, a source of electricity, the movement, the spark of life. And it is having its experience through each and every one of us. So when I eat my toast in the morning, I'm eating it the way I eat it, through my experience, through every one of these little cells, through my eyes, through my taste buds, in a house, at a time, in a place, on a month that has never happened before. So I am expanding reality even through my little toast biting in the morning, right? And I'm allowing source to have that new experience. I used to love that Abraham Hicks would say that you're expanding the universe. I didn't understand it exactly until we started doing this work, Bill, and until I had the full understanding of exactly that what I do expands the universe, good, bad, or ugly. It creates an expanse because it's brand new. So when you eat your breakfast in the morning, Strangely enough, that expands the universe in another way. You're having your experience, and source is experiencing itself through you and all of its cells. So what's the practical use for this? Exactly what you said, Bill. I don't have to be concerned about what you're going to think about me changing my reality. You're going to have yours. And ours bump into each other all the time and we coexist, but I'm still having my experience through my universe. I'm creating my little universe over here, which means that when I find something in my little universe that's uncomfortable, I bump up against something and I'm like, ugh, I don't think I like it. Right? Instead of me saying, you know what, Bill McKenna, I need you to change the world for me. I need you to make all the parameters different so I'm comfortable. Now, I realize because it's my universe that I'm creating, and good, bad, or ugly, I'm expanding that part of my universe. I now can collapse that wave, just like those particles. I can collapse the wave of my own discomfort, eliminating that little fence line of the universe bubble that I have made up, and create something new. And it expands. So I think this is rule 1 and like rule 5, where you can't actually be concerned about the reality that you create affecting someone else or how it does, or what their opinion's going to be, or what they're going to think about it, because they are having their own experience. So this is the hard part for everyone. They'll be like, yeah, but my kids or my husband. The truth is, through my lens, through my bubble, through source experiencing itself through me, my husband and my kids are going to be seeing how I see them. They're going to have the experience that I see them having. But through their lens, just like you said, on one side of the camera or the other, they'll be having their own experience, which is their business, right?
Right.
In my experience, they look a certain way because it's through me. Through their experience, I look a certain way because it's through them. And we expand our own reality. But this was the part we were talking about. And Bill said, I think the way that this is most easily understood is the multiple personalities, multiple realities, each of us creating our own reality, and each of us literally creating our own version of the universe. But here's what I know about this for sure, Bill. This is a big concept. It may even sound like the woo-wooist of the woo-woo, you know. It's science, like you said. Each observer creates a new reality. That was with photons. We're all made up of photons. That's all we are. So we know that it's real science, but the way that a person can deeply understand this is when their consciousness raises. What we know about consciousness and Cognomovement is that it's a lot about the energy that you have to participate in your own universe. And when we have big things that weigh us down in our body, big emotions, big issues, big traumas, those gather and gobble a lot of that energy for creating a universe. Our attention goes sort of inward and really clogs up the system. When those are cleared out, and we do that with Cognomovement, cleared out, the energy returns in a forward motion and really creates expansion. And then there is an ability, an understanding, a consciousness level that you're like, oh, that makes perfect sense. I am the universe that I'm creating, and I get to experience through myself. Until you're there at that consciousness level, it's really hard. You still think the world is about everyone else and how they're affecting you. It really feels that way until the moment that it doesn't. So that's why it's number 1 on the list of things. You've got to get sort of straightened out in your mind, body, spirit to really start to change reality and to understand that multiple realities are being changed at the same time.
It's true. It's true. Leaving reaction and being able to feel good and make choices and create in joy.
Yeah. Yeah. And not worry that it's good, bad, right, or wrong. It just is. It's just an expression. It's just another little expansion of the universe, like that toast in the morning. And when you get there, when you change the reality, and we do constantly every day with this work, we change reality. We just did this morning, interestingly. We do it again and again because we can, and it's fun. Because you're changing, you don't have to worry about it. If you get there and you're like, oh, I don't know, I didn't like that so much, change it again, shift it up. And I think some people have said, is it right to do this? Is it right to change reality? And if you look at it through the lens that you're literally expanding the universe with every choice, how much more fun would that be for Source to experience? Just another one. Oh, it reminds me of, there's a show, Guardians of the Galaxy, and there's a character, and he says, oh yeah, this is the one where the guy, eats the ice cream cone and then everybody gets eaten by a lizard. But he can see all the realities at the same time. And the tiniest little thing creates another reality. And the next thing creates another reality. And again and again and again. And it doesn't really matter because they're all happening at the same time. And if we can get our mind around that, and it's big, you become free to just create and create and create and choose again. It really is the most fun. So to get to this place where you can really get your mind around this, what Bill and I know is you do need to change your consciousness level. The fastest way that we know to do it is through a thing that we call Cogno Conscious. We usually have it just once a year. It might be twice a year, but come to cognomovement.com, go to upcoming events, and see if there's one coming up soon near you, Cogno Conscious. And if that's not available to you, just come and get our free download, our free books. Sign up for our newsletter and you'll get 2 free books from us that'll help expand your consciousness and help you get to the place where you can understand this. So we'd love for you to like this if you do like it, and subscribe to the channel. That really helps. But more than that, we want to hear what you have to say about alternate realities and changing your consciousness and expansion of the universe through your lens.